Welcome to the Forged by Trust podcast, where we explore stories of resilience, empathy, and unbreakable human spirit that transform heartbreak into hope. I'm your host, Robin Dreeke, a veteran U.S. Marine, retired chief of the FBI Counterintelligence Behavioral Analysis Program, and a proud friend to the extraordinary individuals joining us today. In this deeply moving episode, we dive into the intersecting journeys of two families bound by loss, yet fueled by an unyielding commitment to light up the lives of children battling pediatric cancer. We'll hear from Nathan Hoffman, a young leader with a heart as big as his dreams who channels his courage and creativity into acts of kindness that ripple far beyond his years. Joining him is his father, Dan Hoffman, whose wisdom and unwavering dedication honor the memory of Nathan's mother, Kim, turning profound grief into purposeful action. And we're grateful to have Grant Froome from the Jessie Rees Foundation, a beacon of joy inspired by the remarkable Jessie Rees, a girl whose short life sparked a global movement of compassion, empathy, and the mantra, never ever give up. Together, we'll uncover how Kim's battle with cancer and Jessie's own fight against terminal brain cancer at just 11 years old have inspired legacies of service. From stuffing joy jars, those simple yet powerful packages filled with toys, games, and encouragement, to raising hundreds of thousands of dollars and fostering communities of volunteers. These stories remind us that true strength lies in seeing the world through others' eyes, taking bold action amid pain, and finding joy that flows in every direction. It's a testament to leadership without authority, the power of empathy in the face of adversity, and how one person's courage can ignite a chain reaction of hope for kids everywhere. Listen closely as Nathan, Dan, and Grant share their personal experiences, from soccer field moments of profound kindness to massive joy jar stuffing events, and how they're carrying forward the spirits of Kim and Jessie to make a lasting impact. Their words will inspire you to reflect on your own capacity for courage and to join the fight against childhood cancer.
I was like, this is really cool, and I think it is definitely very beneficial, and it can help a lot of people.
Many years ago, I know you had a pretty tragic event in your life that really, I think, inspired you as a family to come together and want to be of great service to others.
So when my mom passed away from cancer in 2021, we all decided we wanted to do something to carry her legacy as a really good person. So doing these joy jars kind of makes the person who's stuffing the jars and the person who's receiving these jars feel really, really good.
Tell me about some of those things that you think make a really, really great person and how that linked to the Jessie Rees Foundation.
Someone who's very kind, giving, and very creative, who thinks about others and how they think about the world too, seeing the world through their eyes.
I'll tell you a quick example. Nathan's a good soccer player. In fact, he's a great soccer player. And he's playing travel soccer, and he plays hours and hours a day. But the best thing he ever did on a soccer field was when one of his teammates made a mistake and let a goal in a game that was pretty close at the time, but his team went on to win. But the kid came out of the game and he was very upset, and he went and sat by himself, and Nathan went and sat with him and then warmed him up. They went off and kicked the ball together. And when the coach said it was time to go back in the game, Nathan grabbed this kid by the hand. He didn't want to go in. Nathan grabbed him by the hand and said, "Let's go. We're going in the game." And Nathan had that boy's back, and it was clear, like, if anybody else ever had the thought of criticizing that little boy for making a mistake, and keep in mind, life's about making mistakes. We make them every day. But if anybody had thought of criticizing him, they were going to have to go through Nathan. And Nathan was showing leadership without a position of authority, but that was great leadership. And the key to all of that was he saw the world through this little boy's eyes, because this boy had made a mistake and he felt bad about it. And Nathan saw that this boy was so sad, almost like moved to tears. And Nathan went up and put his arm around him, literally put his arm around him. And they were already friends, already buddies, but that's all about trust and care and empathy. And I saw that. I've always felt like that was Nathan's best moment on the soccer field ever. And you see it when Nathan stuffs joy jars. He has stuffed hundreds of joy jars, and he's doing it because he can feel the pain that the kids who have cancer are suffering. And he wants to do his part to help them because he can feel that pain. He can feel what they're going through. And as Nathan said, the joy flows in both directions. The kid who opens a joy jar feels pretty good about that joy jar, gives them resilience to fight on and never ever give up, just like Nathan's mom did, who squeezed out every moment she had with us. The joy is also for the person who stuffed the jar in the first place, and I think for sure you feel that.
Oh yeah.
Those moments take an immense amount of courage.
I will say there's so many moments every single minute almost where you could have courage anytime, anywhere. You could have courage. If somebody litters or does something, you could always teach them that lesson and it'll stick with them for a very, very long time. I will say, like, even just doing the right thing, I think other people also will always notice that in a simple term. But one example would be like reminding somebody why they're there or what they thought before this and what they think after this, how it changes, you know?
Hmm.
You see a problem, you have the courage to dive in and do something about it. And when you combine that with an incredibly positive aspect, and given the challenges you've been through in life at such a young age already, you have such a positive aspect. You have such a problem solving aspect. And you brought it forward to the Jessie Rees Foundation. What's that meant to you so far?
I think, honestly, I see the good that comes with this kind of mentality, as you said. There's always going to be some good outcome when you really think of it this way.
For example, the first time you became a part of Jessie Rees Foundation was probably the day you met Robin when we stuffed joy jars.
Mhm.
That's probably where it all began for you. Is that right?
Yeah.
One thing that you said already, Nathan, that is so true about you and your family is you guys take action. Can you talk about the day when we first stuffed 3,000 Joy Jars in Tyson's? You met Robin there and a bunch of other people there.
That was the day I realized the joy does flow in both ways. I really did notice what really did come out of doing all these good things and how it can help a lot.
Joy flows both ways. How do you see that joy in both ways for you?
I would say I just think in my head of somebody receiving these jars and how happy they could be. And then that would make me happy and the joy comes to me instantly.
That first day that Nathan didn't really know what joy jars were about, but he went out there with this just infectious desire to do good that day. And he stuffed, by his count, roughly 70 joy jars. And I've told this story, but it's a meaningful one for me that at the end of that day, everybody had gone home except for Grant and a few of the Jessie Rees Foundation staff and volunteers. And my older son, Jaron, who was the one who raised $200,000 for that event, which was a lot more than we had ever expected, he was super tired. I mean, my kids did 2 3 hour shift stuff in Georgia, and they had basketball practice in the middle while we were resetting the
Okay.
tables for an hour with Coach Faith. And Coach Faith is tough, man. She makes you run. And so my older son is like half asleep, leaning up against the wall, as I would have expected. Nathan, at the end of this day, is picking up boxes of joy jars, putting them in crates, and then carrying the crates over to bigger crates so they could be shipped all over the world to kids in need. And I looked at Nathan and I said, "Hey, buddy, you ate breakfast today, but you didn't like the pizza we had. I know you're not drinking the coffee. You did Coach Faith's basketball practice, 2 3 hour shifts of joy jars. It's like 4 in the afternoon, and we got started at 9. Where are you getting the energy from?" And he just looks at me with his mom's big blue eyes and says, "Dad, we're stuffing joy jars today. Not tomorrow. Not next week, Dad. Today." And it was as if I were interrupting him, and he went off and continued to do his work until it was done. And at the end of that day, what really hit me was that's NEGU. That's what NEGU's all about. Never ever give up. The job wasn't done, and he wasn't done doing it. And he could feel his mom's inspiration that day, inspiring him to do his best on a day that mattered most for kids in the fight for their lives against pediatric cancer. God bless her. We could feel her that day. And Nathan didn't stop working until we were all done with the last joy jar in the last crate getting shipped off to the kids who needed it most.
What a tragedy, but what a gift. Look at all the amazing things you are doing as a family for another family, for all these thousands of families because of that model of life that she set for y'all. You guys, Jaron, yourself, and Nate have been stuffing joy jars now for over 3 years, and as a family, raised over $600,000. So, Nate, I understand your next event is in February of 2026, following in the family's footsteps. What are you hoping to achieve in that one?
Pretty simple, just stuff as many jars as possible. Hopefully be my record of 71.
What about your brother's record?
Ooh, that one's a lot.
So far, we've raised $60,000 for this event. And how much do you want to raise? Your brother raised 200,000. How much do you want to raise?
More than 200,000,
Okay.
Dude, that 200,001. I gotcha.
Yep. Stuff 3,001 jars.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robin, you make a
Yeah.
good point too, because the motivation for us, for sure, is to honor Nathan's mom, honor her memory. We're also honoring Jessie Rees, God bless her, diagnosed with terminal brain cancer at age 11 and passed away less than a year later. But she was the one who created Joy Jars, and she had the empathy. She's the one who lit this path for philanthropy that soothes our broken hearts. What an amazing person she was, and I'm so sad that I feel like that I never got to meet her. I've watched countless videos of her and heard stories about her. God, I wish I could thank her because of what she's done for my family and so many others who were sad and suffering. And because she was the one who called us to action, Jessie did. She gave us the opportunity to do right and to honor Kim's legacy and to help kids who need it most. That's really what this is all about for us. And I think when we stuff joy jars, we're certainly thinking about Kim and we're thinking about the kids who are going to get those jars. We're thinking about Jessie Rees and her family.
Y'all and the Jessie Rees Foundation and Grant and the whole team, you are the masters of making lemonade out of lemons. There is no doubt every single day. So, Nate, what happened over spring break?
I flew out to Orange County and where their, I'd say, headquarters warehouse is, and we volunteered there with the volunteers to stuff jars, and it was a really great experience. It was really cool to see how everything gets done there. Like I've just had events across to the other coast, so I've never seen like where it comes from and like how it all really starts. It's really good to see all those volunteers who show up and who stuff and prepare jars to be shipped almost every single day.
You know, you have such a dedication to service of others. You have such courage when doing so. I'm curious, do you have any thoughts on the path you want to walk in life yet and what you want to do?
It's hard to say, but one of them would definitely be a professional soccer player if I had to really choose.
So the thing I'll tell you about, because Grant and Robin, you were talking about how like Nathan is about solving the problems that you face. And when we went out for spring break and worked with all the volunteers at the Joy Jar Factory, that was one team pulling in the same direction. Everybody was doing different parts, but we're all pulling in the same direction, just like it is on the soccer field for Nathan. He's got some teammates are on defense and others are passing the ball. Somebody's taking a shot or dribbling. But they're all pulling together as one team to have great success. And when everybody's pulling in the same direction as a team, you win. And that's what Jessie Rees Foundation is all about. It's a lot of people all over the country, all over the world, pulling in the same direction together on behalf of kids fighting cancer. And I think that was a big lesson for us when we went out to the Joy Jar Factory for sure. And I see a lot of comparisons between real life and soccer. Nathan and I spend a lot of time him playing and me watching and trying to videotape. But I think sometimes Nathan's love of soccer, the ultimate team game, is part of what drives him to be a part of the NEGU team. Putting words in your mouth, or is that fair to say?
Fair to say.
You being such a courageous, empathetic individual that clearly has leadership in your own philanthropic way of life, you will be leading and solving problems of people empathetically for the rest of your life. And it's going to bring you great joy because that is your life arc and those that you've touched as well. What else do you all think people should know about the Jessie Rees Foundation and your event coming up in February?
That we're gonna hopefully stuff as many jars as we can. It's a great foundation that does a lot of good things. Hopefully we can get a lot of volunteers.
So every year for Nathan's birthday, we've had a a Joy Jar event in our home where we raise a smaller amount from corporate donations, but enough to stuff a few hundred jars. And Grant always comes out. And Kim gave Nathan life. She made me a dad. On Father's Day, I used to celebrate her because she's the one who did all that. And so we celebrate her life and what she did for Nathan every year for Nathan's birthday by stuffing Joy Jars. And that's why this year's event is going to be right around Nathan's birthday, the day after Nathan's birthday. And certainly the goal is to experience a lot of joy and stuff a lot of Joy Jars. Enjoy that moment because it's incredibly special for all of us as a family and everybody who's there with us. I think we all feel that camaraderie and sense of a unity of mission that we have that day, which is so special. And I always say that Eric Rees, he's the paragon of fatherhood. Don't stop being a dad even after he lost his daughter. He's still at Jessie's dad, and he's honoring her memory. He honored her memory by creating the Jessie Rees Foundation and leading that foundation. Some ways I can't think of anything more difficult to do every day than to walk into the Joy Jar factory and see your deceased daughter's name up there. He does that, and he's the strongest person I know. After the people fighting cancer, who are the toughest people I've ever met in my life, Eric Rees, man, he's strong. He says, he likes to say, you ask him any question related to Jessie Rees Foundation, and he'll always come back to these beautiful words about, I miss my daughter every day, but she'd be super proud. And that just about sums it up for how we feel too. We miss Nathan's mom every day, but we know she'd be super proud.
Yeah, I got the honor of knowing Jessie growing up as well. As we're talking about you guys wishing you could meet Jessie, I wish I could meet your mom and how many similarities they have in just attacking this world with grace and joy and a competitive spirit and a joyful spirit. And one thing I just want to say is the best part was doing 3,000 jars in Tyson's Corner at the One Life Fitness. But what was it like for you, Nathan, to bring it then into your birthday, into your home, and then seeing, whoa, this just showed up. How did this happen? What was that like for you to like bring everything that we did back into your home where you grew up?
Honestly, it's even better. It's something you're familiar with, like a puzzle. You add another piece to the puzzle and it gets bigger and it's more colorful and it's more full. And that's all really good, I think.
All of you carry their arc forward of what was important to both Kim and Jessie. I feel like I know them, and if they were to show up tomorrow, you could give them a big hug as if you had known them your entire life because of you all. So thank you for that gift that you give everyone else, to know those incredible people through your actions and who you are and how you live.
Yeah,
absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate that.
Thank you for tuning into this inspiring episode of Forged by Trust. Two families have experienced tragic events in their life, but have decided to take action and make an impact on childhood cancer. Wondering how you can get involved? Consider getting your company or family involved by sponsoring Jessie's Joy Jars, or show up at the event on February 7th, 2026 at the Tyson's Health and Fitness Center to stuff Joy Jars. If you feel inspired to make a difference in the lives of kids fighting cancer, please reach out to Grant Froome with the Jessie Rees Foundation as they continue to create a fun and impactful Joy Jar stuffing event happening next year. Can't wait to see you at the event. Stay safe, take care of your loved ones, and we'll be talking to you soon.